Hello, and welcome to another week of a summer series provided by Inspiring Workplaces. Now, you might be expecting Matt today, but I'm Stefan, and I'm a member of the Inspiring Workplaces team. I'm the content and design lead. Matt's away on an emergency today, so I've stepped in to cover today's talk. Hope you guys are enjoying the series. The team have been working really hard to get this stuff done daily, working on videos and audio on-demand content. We have some more the highlight videos coming very, very soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And also, if you've missed any of the sessions for the past couple of weeks, we do have it on demand on our website. So let's go straight on to today's talk. So today we have one of our finalists for the Inspiring Workplaces Awards in the EMEA category. This is Equatorial Coca-Cola Bottling Company. And today representing them, we have Leticia Palacios, who is the HR and Talent Management Director of Equatorial Coca-Cola. She will be talking about diversity and inclusion and how it perceives in the North and West African region where they operate. Equatorial Coca-Cola are committed to building diverse and inclusive workplaces in African countries, and they hope uh, to work on that and you know, but the kaleidoscope spectrum of personalities that comprehends multiple dimensions, both visible and non-verbal, and this is their big challenge with Coca-Cola. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Leticia. Hello, Leticia.
Hello. Hello. Hi. Hi,
Hi.
Stefan. Thank you very much for your introduction and for having me here today. It's a pleasure to share with you all about what you have said briefly right now and about how ECCBC is building this inspiring diversity and inclusion journey. And that's what we'll be sharing for the next minutes together. I hope that you can enjoy it and that you can take some inputs or insights from today.
Perfect. Well, I'll leave you to it, Leticia. Best of luck, and I'll see you on the other side.
Thank you, Stefan. Thank you very much. Well, what to expect for today? Well, we will be introducing a little bit about Equatorial Coca-Cola Bottling Company, about our D&I journey. What is in this journey our strategy? I will be sharing what we've done so far. Okay. Also, what happened in 2020 a little bit. It was a complex year. I would say that for every company. And I will share a little bit also about our international recognitions and testimonial. As you can see here, these strategies want to take longer in the presentation because I think that that would be, good to share with you to see, where we are and what we've done and where we would like to go with our strategy. So first, I would like to share some data to understand where this strategy, what is the context for this strategy, so you know a little bit about the company, okay? Equatorial Coca-Cola, it's the bottler of Coca-Cola in 13 countries in Africa and with, let's say, with head office in Barcelona and Morocco. We are a team of 3,400 diverse people in all these 13 countries where we operate. And as you can imagine, with this broad geography where we operate, we hold very different backgrounds, nationalities, religions, races, beliefs. We are very diverse. We speak more than 25 languages, and we always make the joke that, yeah, we understand each other. In the end, we understand each other. We embrace who we are, and Equatorial, this is very important for us. We all welcome our motivations and the value that we can bring to the organization. And for us, we all share a unique dream. That's while we bottle Coca-Cola, while we produce it, deliver, and sell Coca-Cola in all these countries, we can build a place where people can unfold their talent, where they can be themselves, where they can feel, valued, respected. And that means that we are building a diverse and inclusive workplace, but also a world for all of us. Given said this, diversity has always been in our values since the very beginning of the company. That's like back in the 80s, 1980s. As you can see, we are very diverse. It's our diversity. It's a fact. It's reflected in our values. It's part of our DNA, and that has been from the very beginning. But lately, we started realizing that we were very diverse, that we had to work on the inclusion side, right? And that's how we started our journey in diversity and inclusion. Sometimes we call it diversity, equity, and inclusion. You will see in my presentation today, it's about we call it D&I, but we can also add and the E, in there, diversity, equity, and inclusion. This journey, like every journey, has ups and downs, and this is what we are going to share with you. But I would like to show you that this journey for us had, very clear milestones there. That we can see that we started in 2018 with the assessment and awareness. That was like very crucial for us. I will explain it later on, okay, guys? But for you to see that the beginning was all about an assessment and benchmarking and understanding where we were and this awareness. Then we moved into the foundations, our D&I foundations in 2019. In 2020 was about the consolidation, and from then on, we're working on the maturity of this of diversity and inclusion. And it's a journey. We are still in the journey, working towards what we would like to get to. And this is what I'm going to show you a little by little in the next slides, okay? But this picture, I would say, it summarizes our journey, and I wanted to share it with you before we go into all the details, okay? The beginning, as I said, it was an assessment. We needed to know where we were. It was important because sometimes we have these blind spots that we don't see. Usually we know where we are, but we decided that we needed to ask our employees. We launched a survey. With around 45 questions about diversity and inclusion. We created also focus group with people to answer us about those questions. So we were active listening, to see what their opinion about the diversity inclusion was. And what we also did at this initial stage was to benchmark. We work at FMCG. We were looking for companies not only in Africa, but also benchmarking with other FMCG companies to understand, and see not only country-wise, but also compared to the business where we work at. And that gave us a photo of a picture where we were, and we thought that it was the starting point. We needed to have all that information to set, where we wanted to go. And it was important to see that we needed to set specific areas to work diversity and inclusion. And as the outcome of this initial stage with the assessment and the awareness was an action plan for certain specific areas It was training, leadership, talent development, communication, and engagement. Were like the pillars that we were going to tackle when working on our D&I journey. It was the main areas that all our employees we asked told us that we had, opportunities. And we decided that we needed to have like a name and a logo for the journey of the project, so that it was easier for people to relate or to feel, they could relate to it or have links, or when we were training and communicating, people could relate that information to this. We asked them, and in the end, we got the name of Dive In. It's I know it's clear to see dive from diversity, in from inclusion. That Dive In also had this thinking of, okay, we are gonna focus, we're gonna dive, deep dive in this. And also created the logo. So it was a beginning where we wanted to ask, listen, our employees. We concluded having, these four pillars that we wanted to work, and having an umbrella, under which we were going to work, and that was the Diving project. Okay. So this journey that started in 2019 was a clear, let's say, message also from our employees that it was important for them. It was diversity, as we said, is I would say, very recognizable in our company. It's part of our values. You can see it in all the data I share with you, But sometimes diversity is not only things that you can see, there are also invisible things in there, And I always think about like having this kaleidoscopic spectrum of multiple dimensions, both visible and non-visible. So when we were working on these, we thought that our pillars, it was not only to have the employees in this, but also having our clients, the brands, and our communities, that we needed to work. Also, these other three pillars, dimensions, call it as you want, but that we will help to define our efforts and actions. So we have these four pillars that you can see there, like our diverse people, diverse clients. So we are, when you're producing Coca-Cola, your clients are diverse, and that's how, if you're providing with a product to very diverse clients, you need to also, you are diverse, you need to understand this. And it's also part of our diverse brands. The portfolio is not only Coca-Cola, but we have other like Fanta and juices in water. So we have these diverse also brands in our portfolio, but also our diverse communities where we are. These 13 countries is very diverse, from North Africa, West Africa, and also here in Spain. So we needed to work, this kaleidoscopic spectrum of the multiple dimensions, both visible and non-visibles, through for these four pillars. It was. I'm not going to go into very details in here, but as you can imagine, these four pillars we help us a lot to define also our efforts and our strategies in there, so that we could make sure that we were covering all with the definitions and strategies for the years ahead. We define a strategic plan, and I would like to share with you that it was a 4-year plan that we decided in 2018 as a consequence of all the assessment that we did, the benchmark that we did. Probably one of the things that we have learned with the COVID is that maybe we can do like shorter strategic plans regarding D&I. And that was a 4-year plan that we've been following for the last years. But this year we are defining the next 2 years. strategic plan, and instead of a 4-year plan. Things are changing very fast. We saw that in 2020, and then it was a lesson learned that maybe for DNI it's better to set short-term strategic plans. One of the things that we included in our strategic plan was having a governance model. And this is something that I would like to share with you because for us, it's been crucial to have or to create at the very first stages, specific committees and bodies who are accountable or representative to ensure that our DNI mission and initiatives are followed and are achieved across the organization. That's why we created 2 governance bodies, the DNI Steering Committee and the Champions and Ambassadors. These 2 are our 2 specific committees and bodies. The first one, the DNI Steering Committee, is in charge of defining the DNI strategy plan, that this is aligned with the business priorities. And as you can imagine, this is to be a reference and example in the understanding of the DNI inclusion as a fundamental value. We have there our CEO, our corporate human resources director, and some other members of the top management. The DNI champions and ambassadors, these are a group that have a very, very important role in our DNI strategy. We have more than 35 right now in the group. I would say that they are like a bridge between this steering committee and the rest of the employees. They represent different countries and different functions at the company, and they are the ones implementing and defining the actions together, being, like a role model across the organization. So I would say these, together with the strategic plan, were like the very initial pillars of that strategy that we decided to implement. And the DNI Steering Committee and Champions and Ambassadors have been crucial in this journey. So you have in here some of them, the steering committee, the DNI champions. You can see that we have sponsors, some are implementers, some are ambassadors. Not all of them are from HR, of course not. We have people from very diverse functions, from sales to operations, logistics, quality. So it's a very diverse team. And this is these 2 governance bodies are the ones that are pushing the strategy to happen. Something that also it's part of these initial stages of our strategy, and I would say 2018, it was created and a manifesto. Sorry, in 2019, it was the manifesto. We needed to create a framework, and it was something that we dedicated some time to write. We would like it to be a statement for our intentions, and it was something that also marked a before and after for us, and we really believe that it was something that helped us to convey our message regarding diversity and inclusion. Okay, so it gathers or it summarizes what is for us diversity, what is our commitment, and also what are the pillars in that in our strategy. English is the official language in the company, but because we speak lots of languages, the manifesto was translated into French, Arabic, Spanish, and Portuguese to get through everybody in the company. So this manifesto is something. It's also a big milestone for us, and I wanted to share it with you. Another thing that we started working, it was what we wanted our inclusive leadership model to be. And for that, we had lots of conversations with our managers to get to know also, their opinion, the perceptions, because sometimes perceptions can be very different to what other people, what top management can be thinking of, or getting some leadership tips in there, and somehow getting the commitment from our leadership top management. And it was something that we really believe it helped also our managers to understand it was expected from them. So we had participants from these 14, for our 13 countries, almost 100 people participating in that, and we were aligning diversity and inclusion in at our top management to define this what our inclusive leadership model means to us. Okay, it was how we did it. Well, we did some when we created a leadership executive program after defining the framework. We created a training that we call ELEP. It's a leadership executive program, and with that, we wanted to promote diversity and inclusion uh, and set like a starting point for everybody in there. It was executive program with five modules that went through all areas of people management, like okay, personal leadership, influential leader, how it's when I hire people, when I do talent, and me as a leader of the future. It helped people to understand that diversity and inclusion is not an HR thing, that sometimes it's I have to say that I have heard that diversity and inclusion is on the HR agenda, and but with this many managers also understood that this is something that is not specific from HR, but it's for all of us from the business across functions. So we continue doing some trainings for all our countries, and it was a way that people learn how to integrate all our inclusive behaviors into the people management, and that also it was not like a nice thing to have, but it was something good for the business also. It's the more diverse the teams, the more efficient they are, the better the outcomes. And with this training, it lasted like 5 6 months. That was our goal in the end. So this was another milestone for us in 2019. It was leadership framework, the inclusive leadership framework, together with the lab, which was training our employees in what our inclusive behaviors were. With these, we were trying to explain that diversity and inclusion is something that it goes across the employee life cycle. Since you hire someone, you develop that person, you are, performing, you are managing performance, you are making succession plans, you are communicating, how you engage your diverse teams, how you pay your team, so inclusive people management is something that people need to understand. It is through all through the employee life cycle, and it was part of that training as well that I mentioned before. Here you have a lot of data and some pictures about how we did it, how we share with them that every time that we hire, it's important to have diverse pipeline, that we are considering every aspect of the candidates when we hire. So it's funny because sometimes managers say, hey, that they feel more comfortable with certain talent, and we always make the joke that we hire people like us, and we can end up having like copies of ourselves in, as manager with your teams, that you need to hire very diverse teams, because that will provide you with different perspectives, with different ideas, innovation. I mean, diverse boosters innovation. So this is, you can see there are a lot of initiatives that we carried out regarding hiring diverse talent, how we explain about talent development and career growth opportunities when working on diversity and inclusion. So we have dedicated a lot of time with managers uh, to bring them in. Yes, we are diverse, but now we have to work on the inclusion, and inclusion is throughout all the employee life cycle. It's here a little bit more about what we have commended, but also something that I have to share with you is that we are communicating and engaging at all levels, and that's something very important. And also, when we're talking about total rewards, it's also something that we need to work, that sometimes we are more focused on how, when we hire or when we promote our quotas, but sometimes we forget that there are some other areas that are as important, and the equity pay and the or equity pay gap, if there is, it's something that we have also to tackle. And there's something that we also brought to our trainings with our managers when explaining this inclusive people management. Something that we did as well, and we're doing, is we have champions and we have ambassadors, but we need to train, to do like train the trainers so that they cascade this, and we can have like far more. We started with 35, 40 champions, but we need to have like more people in there. So we decided to create this train the trainer sessions where the experts in diversity and inclusion could train people who become experts within the house, so we could keep that people, that knowledge in house, and they can then do more rollout sessions in all the countries in there. So we had all the countries participating in this, working with our trainers, and so far we have like around 1,200 people trained in diversity and inclusion. It's more than having just certain specific people being champions and ambassadors. We need to have, everybody understanding this and being trained, but at the same time that they can be advocates for diversity and inclusion. And that's the only way we can do that, is having these trainers so that we can get into more people. There you can see some pictures of all the trainings that we've done, getting the certification there so that they can then become trainers in their countries or for their functions. So it's been very engaging for all of us, these train the trainer sessions through these years, and we will really believe in having this as every year as part of our strategy in this journey that we are commenting. One part which has been crucial for us as well, it's been communication and engagement. I would say over communicate. We've had awareness campaigns, a lot of feedback channels, and having like open communication regarding diversity and inclusion. One of the main things that we did was to create a specific block of questions in the Global People Survey, in the climate survey. We had questions, of course we did, but they were in different blocks or different dimensions that we were asking about. We created a specific one just for diversity and inclusion, a blog where we had questions addressing the topic. And we decided also to have the CEO commenting or speaking about diversity and inclusion, having messages from our global HR director, having internal notes dedicated to diversity and inclusion, having these feedback channels and group focus groups and surveys, not only waiting for the Global People Survey that we have every 2 years, but every year having these surveys. And we believe in also having these engagement activities where we could recognize, we could celebrate, and we can somehow give visibility to everything that we are doing in every country. So we are having what we call awareness campaigns in hand with the internal communication. So one of my recommendation is to over communicate about this, not to be afraid of explaining lots of things about this, because in the end it makes a big difference. And we would like to share with you quickly of some of the good initiatives that work very well for us. We launched a photo contest asking about what diversity and inclusion meant for you and why. It was a huge activity that got a lot of echo in the company. Receiving lots of photos from every country, and I would say every single place from at Ecuadorian Coca-Cola. As you can see a picture there with a camel in the desert with someone there drinking Coca-Cola. But it was a good way for us to raise, awareness, to make people participate in there. And with all those photos that were the winners in every country, we had then a 3 final winner, and we put them in the calendar. Then we created a video with a lot of our employees commenting about what diversity and inclusion meant for them, and what ECCBC was doing, supporting them in this diversity and inclusion. And we are also having continuous communications, both internally and externally, internally in our channels, but also externally through LinkedIn, for example, regarding our D&I in general. So I would say that any initiative to be over communicated, and also a lot of thinking for new engagement activities, it has worked very well for us. You can see some pictures here of how we celebrated the World Diversity Day, the Zero Discrimination Day, both the Women's Day and Men's Day, that we have been also communicating, celebrating, and also asking people about their feedback and how they were living these days as well. And another area where we have put our focus in, I think at the beginning we mentioned about our communities. We have included our volunteering and social impact under diversity and inclusion, and we have several activities and projects there regarding health, environment, women, and others in there that is, I would say, making a big impact in the communities where we work. You have there some data, but for us, this is also, a very important part of our D&I strategy, where we are focusing inside with our employees, but also outside where we work, building a more inclusive world. And that's why we have created several volunteering programs and social activities in our countries. And because of being 2020 a special year, I would like to share with you that some of the projects that we had were a little bit slow down. So what we did was to move everything online there, and what we did was to ask a lot our employees, because our diverse people were living the COVID in a very diverse ways, in very different ways, and we needed, to ask them to see if they were feeling that we were, supporting them, and if they were feeling that their way of living the situation, they feel it was, well managed, recognized, and dealt with. So we were doing a lot of communications at that time, like more than 400 live sessions with our CEO, a lot of specific sessions about the COVID, emotional support. It was a time where we were much closer than ever with our employees. And after that, most of our the feedback that we received was amazing. I would say that the engagement at that time it was very impressive. You can see there's some data there. 91% feel very informed. 80% about were feeling emotional well. 80% feel that we care about them. So I would say diversity inclusion is not only about what we have talked in the past, but also that in special times like COVID, that they see that the way they are feeling, the way they are living a specific, in this case, crisis, or like in the pandemic, that they felt that they were part of a company that they care about them. So we continue working and training remotely, online, and we move most of our training and webinars into this. I would say at the beginning it was hybrid. At the beginning it was more online. By the end of the year, it was more hybrid. But we did a big effort to continue with our training, diversity and inclusion, so that we not only because of the pandemic, we stopped our journey in diversity and inclusion. As I said before, it was they recognize that, and our employee engagement finished in 84% last year, with an 82% diversity and awareness rate, and inclusive perception 75. So you've seen we've done a big journey since we started, and something that we have also learned is that presenting ourselves to awards help us for benchmarking, and also help us to push further in our journey. And every year we commit ourselves to specific awards. Every year we receive sentence. We hope that this year, with Inspiring Working Places, we end up like in the same. But one of the recommendations and something that we have learned is that it's good. It's good. Maybe you feel that you're not ready, or your plans or initiatives are not state of the art, but it helps to push forward, and it helps us to get better every year, and of course to benchmark, which helps a lot as well. I brought here some testimonials, but since we are a little bit tight in time, I would like to summarize that this is something that it comes from the top down, from the bottom up. It is something that all people in the company is engaged and is committed. And this is not something just from HR, like the people you see there. There's a human resources director and myself, but we have people from every single function and from different places in all over our company. This is something that we are very proud of, And we are still in this journey that we hope that it never stop, because this is something that every year that we will be getting to at least be excellent every year, and we aspire to be that role model company in Africa, in Spain, and in other countries where we can, be an inspiration to. And yeah, we are working towards this excellence in inspiring diversity and inclusion. And I hope that you enjoyed the presentation, that you got some tips or somehow inspired you. And well, thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Leticia. That was a very, very comprehensive and very effective campaign you shared. Thank you very much.
Thank
Um,
you.
just a couple of questions from me. It's such a big campaign strategy that you guys held, not only within a single organization, but one that was spread across so many different countries with different cultures and languages. I'm just curious to know, was there any challenges that you faced having to communicate a strategy across such a wide range of different countries and people?
Good question. For us, working with the champions had been a good way to understand what barriers, what challenges we could have. So we had an overall strategy, but when talking to our champions, we were adjusting sometimes how we cascade that strategy into the countries, right? At the beginning, we started with the languages. We realized, okay, if you wanted to get to every single employee, maybe English is not just enough. We need to translate it into Portuguese, for example, for Cape Verde. That was at the beginning, and then we started having, the feedback from our champions and ambassadors in every country, and the challenges at the beginning was to put everybody in the same page at the beginning to understand, okay, what diversity and inclusion means. And we started with something so basic, but what diversity means. What is the definition of inclusion? So at the beginning, the challenges were, apart from the obvious ones about languages, it was about what was the understanding? We have different understandings of what diversity and inclusion meant. So it was to put everybody in the same page, like in the same line with our own understanding, but at least in a homogeneous way to start with the rest of the initiatives.
Perfect. We're getting a little bit of echo, so I'm just going to mute you for my question and I'll get back to you quickly. So communication is one of the big things you mentioned in your presentation to what made your campaign such a big success. You talked about even over communicating in places where you felt like, maybe you've communicated enough. I'm just curious to know, for those who are looking to adopt a similar DII strategy, apart from sort of rooting it in good communication, what other suggestions would you give to people that would like to do something similar to you guys at Equatorial Coca-Cola?
Partnering with internal communications department has been crucial for us. It's something that, it's not only about the strategy, it's about how you communicate it. And you have to communicate in a way that is easy for people to understand, with plain language, very straightforward. And when I say that we're communicating, I really mean it, to communicate, like having like flashes about this, you have to keep repeating the messages. And for that, internal communication, as experts, professionals creating content, like a lot of visuals, videos, taking photos. So also photos from the people inside, you have to create content, but also content that is relevant for your employees, and then they engage with it, and I would say that For me, it's a big learning about this. Working is not only human resources creating content, but it's something that we have to create together because they are the experts really, in how you communicate and what are the channels, when is the perfect time to do that. So having a plan, a year ahead, when, what, and how, it helps us a lot.
Perfect.
Definitely.
That is very helpful. I agree with that. Having different methods of communication and communicating the right things is key. I guess the final question from me. Um, so I know DEI is not a destination; it's a journey. I know you guys started in 2018, and it looks like from what you shared with us today, you've gone from strength to strength each year. Um, I'd like to know, what are your plans for the rest of the year, and what goals do you plan to achieve in the next couple of years at Equatorial Coca-Cola?
I would say we are in this a little bit aggressive. We always set big goals for us, and for the next years we will be having a focus on, as you can imagine, on gender, on age. Those are like very important for us, but also on working with very diverse communities. In that sense, we are planning for the next years in working also on the sustainability with our communities, and having like special programs where the other, like gender and age are also um, interrelated with what we do with our sustainability projects and the work we do with our communities. So I would say it's a little bit ambitious for the next years that we have, and we are working towards having, with in our environment, working with quotas, as you said, with such a very different cultural environments, such different countries that we have, it won't work for us. We would like to have it, like very specific goals for every country, what we would like to do. So for that, we are having like quarterly reviews regarding diversity and inclusion with a very specific KPIs that we follow every quarter. So that's something that we are also working, and that we expect for the next 2 years to work very closely to get where we would like to be.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Leticia. We're going to have you um, further this month for the Inspiring Workplaces Awards, which you
Thank
guys
you.
are entered the diversity and inclusion category. So wish you the best of luck for that, and see you soon then. Thank you very much again for having us for this time. It's been very thoughtful, informative, and I hope it's definitely helped some people today. So thank you very much, and I'll leave you to it, and have a nice day.
Thank you, Stefan, and thank you for having me. Have a good day.
All right, perfect.
Bye.
You, sorry. And thank you very much for everyone who joined us today at the summer series. I hope you enjoyed the talk. Hope there's a lot of nuggets of information you can take and implement in your own organization. Join us tomorrow, where we're going to have Helen Bissett from H&H talk about internal communications, what is great internal communications, and also how can it be great for your health. We look forward to seeing you for the rest of the journey, and hope to see you tomorrow. So have a great rest of the day, and hope to see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.